Let's talk for a minute about our body language with the children. These are very formidable years of their lives, right? And what we model for them not only teaches them things, but can also communicate judgment. It can communicate things that are not intended. Have you ever stopped to even think about what should my body language be around these children? Have you, Chelsea?
Mm-hmm.
And tell me a little bit about that.
One thing I try to be mindful of, even if, I'm getting on to a kid or asking them not to do something, is to get down on their level.
Yes, because what's that communicate?
That I'm at eye level with them and I'm not like shouting down at them, but
Very
to get down on my knees instead of like pointing my finger or standing up a lot taller than them.
That's excellent. A good example of how to respect the child, isn't it? Vera, what about you?
Yeah, I try to, get down to eye level when I talk and, calm
Right.
and spoke soft too.
Yeah. Is one of the ways you honor a child through the use of your body language? Like, can you use body language around a child that doesn't honor them? Do you think? Like, for example, if she's a child and I'm like this,
Oh yeah.
is that honoring them?
No.
Right.
Just sit or,
Right.
Down. Yeah.
And actually, where I often see some body language that's not appropriate is with subs who've come out of traditional schools. Where it is much more an authoritarian relationship. Have you ever noticed that? You can tell they've come out of public school because they have their arms crossed and they're talking down at the child. And it doesn't honor the child, does it? Do you guys think you're in kindergarten about your body language that you're giving?
You have to, because they're at an age where they mimic what they see every day. So we see it right back. If you discipline a child, what you say, how you say it, the children mimic it, and then when they play on the playground, you get to see exactly, which is fine. They do. You get to see some of the good things. They get down, and there might be a hand on the hip, or it might be a, come on. They're very expressive. But for the most part, it's nice to be able to see that they're taking it in and that they're using it, and that it seems to be pretty effective when you see it played back in miniature version in front of you. And one of the things in kindergarten, because they do know when they're making a bad choice, so it can be them looking over at you and you just go, kind of I don't know why you're going to do this, and they immediately are like, you're right. And it can fix a problem really quickly. So once you have that relationship developed with them, it can work.
They pay attention a lot. In level 1, do you think the children pick up your body language?
Absolutely.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
They're sponges, aren't they?
Oh yes. If we are hurried, or let's say we're in transition.
Yeah.
And let's say there was a spit up outside, and we're hurrying to move some children away from that spit up. Like some children are just naturally anxious, and so when that happens, they'll immediately start crying, and they're like, "Wait, what are you doing? Why are you moving me so suddenly like this? I don't like it." So they definitely pick up on during fire drills. Of course, there's a sound, but they're looking at our body language because they don't know how to speak. That's the only way babies know how to communicate is non-verbally. So, like I said, through a fire drill or something, they're just like, oh, the whole room starts crying, and they're like, what's going on? Somebody, somebody tell me, pick me up or something. Yeah.
Interesting. The final thing I would say in this segment is when you have a child in the room where you've reached the end of your rope, and sometimes you have them a whole year. What we have had in the last year or two, a couple instances where the teachers had the sense not to tell the children. At first they were communicating their, what's the word I'm looking for, their disapproval of that child through making comments about them or their family, and we cut that off. What we weren't conscious enough of is how they then transferred it to their body language, turning their back on the child, humping at them, the rolling of the eyes. That is so disrespectful, and it creates a classroom that is not at all safe for that child, doesn't it?
Right.
And so if you, I would say, ever see teachers who are doing that in the classroom, we made a big mistake that we allowed it to go on too long. And it was, it does create an environment where a child doesn't feel safe or honored, right? And we're modeling the wrong behavior. And so I would just say be aware of body language, especially with new teachers and our expectations around that. Okay? Thank you.